welcome. I am Fred Wellman, host of Online VoteVets. Sorry if I'm yelling, it's kind of loud where I am. We are in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, at the Veteran Memorial Hall in downtown Cedar Rapids for a VoteVets Town Hall with Pete Buttigieg. We've got a full house plan. This venue is incredible. It's just going to be a great day. I'm so excited to talk to you guys about what we're doing and watch the live stream. For those who don't know, we're going to be doing this town hall, this little pre-show for a little bit here to kind of get behind the scenes as we get ready for the show. And then we'll walk you around a little bit. We'll talk to my friend Paul Eaton a little bit. And then right at 6 o'clock Eastern, you'll have the live stream, same place, of the actual conversation with Pete, some of our fellow veterans conversing about what they've experienced, the danger we have facing us at VA, and other cuts to our thing. So the first time I want to introduce my good friend, Major Paul Eaton, Chair of the Board of VoteVets. Sir, come on over. Paul, welcome. It's good to have you here,
Thank
sir.
you so much. Great to be here.
Yeah.
A lot of energy going on.
Yeah, so why are we doing this?
So, one, it's the flagship event for VoteVets, and it lets everybody know exactly what we can do, what we're doing. But there's a big assault right now going on from this administration against veterans in general and against certain agencies that help us.
Yeah.
So, some very serious cuts in the federal workforce. 40% of the federal workforce is composed of veterans and families of veterans, and it gets bigger. The other thing is they're going directly after the VA. They want to privatize the VA. Bad idea, and they're starting by cutting 83,000 slots. That is a killer move. We got to stop it. This is what we're doing today.
Yeah, and we just want to bring attention to these things as well. And of course, this doesn't touch on Department of Defense issues with Pete Hegseth and everything else going on there too, right?
Oh, that's a rich environment over there for critique, and what he's doing right now. All this purge of DEI is a false flag. What they're doing is they're firing very competent women, very competent black officers. Yeah. They're not going after the average white guys. And this whole DEI thing, that is a smokescreen. Yeah. And it's a bad news thing going on.
And now we got word on Friday they're actually banning books in libraries. I mean, you're a West Point graduate. The idea that it's not supposed to be a house of intellectualism, but actually going to a base library to get rid of books, it's got to be shocking for somebody who served a country as long as you did too.
When you take midshipmen and you take books out that teach them what goes on in communism and why we need to study our adversaries as well, you're going to graduate midshipmen who don't know the difference between a gopher and a commie. Right.
And that's the danger. And now it's going everywhere. There's a lot of issues here. Of course, we saw the signal check talk. So why do we invite Pete? We're partnering with Pete Buttigieg. He's an Afghan veteran. He's talking about these issues. This is all going to be focused on veterans issues today, isn't it?
Pete is such a high energy guy. I went through a class with Paul Begala on how to appear on TV. What are those things that you need to do? 90% is visual.
Yeah.
When you look at Pete, you get a guy, he's confident, he's smiling, he stands up, he's very photogenic. Yep. His message is super and accurate. He's a winner on all counts.
I love it. Well, I'm glad. Thanks for being here. You'll be introducing Secretary of Transportation yourself today, won't you?
Who gets to do that?
Yeah.
That's just great for the chairman.
I love it. Well, thanks, Paul. Appreciate you. Thank you, sir.
Buddy.
Yeah, you too, sir. So, I wanted to bring over Janessa Goldbeck, who doesn't know she's being interviewed, but this is how it works when you're going live. You just drag people on the camera. Janessa, come over here. All right, we got to get it right. JJ, everybody knows producer JJ. He's hiding behind the scenes, and I can't see him, so if this goes horribly awry, it's on me. Janessa, welcome. Introduce yourself to everybody.
Yeah, hi. Well, hi, everyone. I'm Janessa Goldbeck. I'm an advisor with VoteVets, and I'm a Marine Corps veteran. Really excited to be here and be with Fred and all these amazing Iowans who are here to hear about what's happening in our country. I think a lot of people are really, really deeply concerned and freaked out, angry, and so I'm excited to hear from Pete about sort of his perspective on all this.
And you helped organize all that. How many people are we expecting to show up here?
Well, this venue can hold almost 2,000 people if we go into the overflow section. The doors aren't even officially open yet, and we are
how'd that work out?
filling the fishbowl right now. So people are obviously very excited. I think there's a lot of energy. People are they want to have a conversation about what's going on in America, all the things that this administration are doing, the harms that are happening to veterans and military families. And so it's just great to see this turnout. And there are so many vets in the crowd. I've already met a dozen at least just on the door. So
I love it. And you had a special event today, and there was a guest there talking about the VA, I believe, the stuff it's using. What are you hearing already? We haven't even started the official town hall. You're already hearing rumblings of what's happening here in Iowa for our veterans.
Yeah, the secretary took the time this afternoon or this morning to sit down with a smaller group of veterans who live right here in Iowa. Some of them are VA nurses. Some of them are, we had a union representative who represents all the doctors and nurses and federal employees who work for the VA here in Iowa. We had folks who are small business owners who are veterans. And they were just talking about the very real harms that things like tariffs and uncertainty in the economy are having on their small businesses. They were talking about how the uncertainty in people's positions at the VA.
Yeah.
We heard from one person who said that they're just eliminating positions that are unfilled. So those don't even make the news because it's not an actual person yet. It's just a job, but it's a necessary job. So it was really deeply concerning, but also really valuable to hear. And I'm sure for Secretary Pete to hear as well directly from impacted folks.
And there's a lot of the jobs don't go away. I mean, when we talk about cutting 83,000 veterans, they've already cut several thousand. But we also saw reports that 11,000 have left the resignations. And I saw that screenshot that disappeared fast that showed most of them were nurses. So they're saying they're not going to hurt our health care, but the numbers don't belie that, do they?
No, they don't. I'm a VA patient myself, and that's where I get my health care from. I had surgery earlier this year in February, and the doctors, the anesthesiologists, the nurses, all of them. I always wear my VoteVets gear when I go to the VA because people recognize it and they want to talk about what's happening. And it's a little alarming to hear from your medical staff how concerned they are about their future, about their ability to care for patients. Many of them are veterans themselves. This is like a second service for them. So it's real. I'm concerned about my health care.
Yeah.
I love my VA health care, and I know we definitely have improvements that we need to make. And I happen to live near a major regional center, so we have access to a lot of things that people who are in more rural areas don't. But the solution isn't to gut the VA. It's actually to increase it, to use technology to make things streamlined and more efficient. And it's just so disheartening. And it's like gaslighting to hear from this administration that they're trying to make it better.
And that's the thing. We saw that executive order on veteran. And I was like, it's something that sounded good, but when you dig into it, it's all just fluff. It's not actually anything in there. There's no real changes, is there?
No, and it's there's this idea now that there's going to be a center in California.
We're live.
We're live.
You're on camera.
You're famous. Amazing. Yeah, it's just.
But it's just a lot of fluff in there. The West LA VA campus. Just,
right. And I'm sorry, but that's going to address. Look, great. I think it's a great idea to house homeless vets, create a center for them. But we have more than 3,000 homeless vets in this country, and what they're actually doing is slashing the very programs that prevent veteran homelessness. They slashed the mortgage assistance program, which helps vets who are struggling to pay their mortgages stay in their homes. They're slashing all of these vouchers for folks, and this is it's like sparkle and dazzle to distract what's really happening. And the intent at the end of the day is always to privatize the VA, which research and study after study shows that privatization of healthcare, if the folks out there have United Healthcare or another private health insurance company, that their bottom line is more important than your health and your well-being. And study after study shows that privatization of the VA actually worsens care for the veteran and makes it more expensive for the taxpayer.
I think the last thing I want to talk to you about too is I just read this morning again, they've cut another $450,000 in grants to Harvard University, or $450 million in grants. But you and I know, separate from that, is the research that Harvard's doing, they are doing deep partnerships with the VA on cancer research for veterans. There's 100 different studies they're doing in VA. So in his war on Harvard, it's also a war on veterans, isn't it?
It is. It's part of this administration's, they painted a target on veterans. If you told me a couple of months ago that the first group that they would really be going after are military veterans, combat veterans, veterans with cancer, I would have said that's too extreme, even for these guys. But it's true. And we spoke to a veteran who wrote into our Doge tip line at VoteVets, who was receiving his life-saving cancer medication from the NIH. And when they froze funding to the NIH, his availability of that medicine froze. Think about all of the cutting-edge therapies that are no longer available to folks because these studies are being shut down and defunded. So it's really, it's anti-American, it's anti-veteran. It is absolutely not the promise that we made to people who raised their right hand to serve. and they should be ashamed of themselves. And so I'm glad that we're here in Iowa to talk about it with Secretary Pete tonight.
Well, I really appreciate your time. Thanks. I got you dragged in here. This is how we do it. Well, you heard it right there. And that's our challenge, right? Is what's going on is so many of these issues we're facing as a nation, there always seems to be where it comes in and affects veterans. And that's what we're trying to bring up today. That's what VoteVets has been talking about. They're coming after us in ways they don't even know. And that also goes to the lack of care, the lack of concentration, the lack of focus, even knowing who they're hurting as they do these things. And the fact is, we are hearing story after story of veterans being hurt. The cancer research being cut, NIH cuts, life-saving medicine being cut, all of these things affect veterans. Employee cuts to the federal government. 40% of the federal employees are veterans. Why? Because we had a massive unemployment problem in 2010, 2012, and so the answer was to push them towards federal service. Now many veterans are doing second service in the VA, in the federal government, and now they're being cut willy-nilly after all the work we did to reduce the veterans' unemployment number. So again and again you'll hear that, and that's what you're going to hear today. And so the way this is going to go, so I'm going to do, how we do on time? Oh, wow, we're doing great. Poor JJ behind the scenes. I know he's. So what we're going to do is we'll keep talking a little bit. I want to talk to you what the issues we're going to face. The way this is going to work is you'll see us go live at 6 o'clock. We're going to have national anthem, wonderful singers here, country singers going to sing for us. We've got Pledge of Allegiance. We've got some veterans with the stories of how these cuts, how this mismanagement has affected them. And then Secretary Pete will come on. He'll give a short speech, and then he's going to take questions, folks. You're going to see some really great. It's going to be a while. No holds barred. Nothing's pre-screened here, so you'll see people talking about the issues, and it'll be a really interesting day. So I hope you'll watch this, but more importantly, tune in at 6 o'clock Eastern for the full town hall. So I think, JJ, let's do this. Let's go ahead and run one of our ads. I'm going to take the phone off the tripod and kind of walk you around and show you the setup and show you how amazing this turnout is.
You're lying. I'm a veteran. You don't give a about me. And you don't get the you didn't do us. You don't get to take away our rights. You don't get to take our rights. Get off of me.
When Donald Trump sicked Elon Musk on federal programs, vets started to put faces and names on the damage about to be done. The Doge tip line started gathering stories, so when Musk cut the VA and mass-fired public servants, thousands who'd served in uniform, vets were already on the move. Hundreds of fired vets shared their stories on social media, and thousands came together to organize for action. Fired federal employee veterans countered Trump's address to Congress face-to-face.
Meanwhile, a group of veterans fired in the federal cuts are meeting with lawmakers in Washington ahead of the speech. One of them, Air Force veteran Aline Renault, is here to tell us more about that.
Vets talked with the press, social media, influencers, content creators, podcasters to get the word out. Veterans have become the face of the fight. A six-figure campaign supported on-the-ground grassroots activities in multiple congressional districts.
This is a new ad that I think is really, really effective from the political group VoteVets.
I did not put my life on the line for some tech bro billionaire from South Africa to come in here and try to destroy our country.
There's a lot of positions you don't want to be in as an American politician, but maybe top of that list is do not mess with veterans.
MAGA leaders ran scared.
The National Republican Congressional Committee is telling members to hold no in-person town halls. I don't want to pile on here, but I thought that was lame.
Hell just caught a little chill. This fight has only begun. Vets are standing up to bad policies and calling out failures that risk national security across the mega government. We help stop Musk's millions in Wisconsin by delivering our message where voters are on the most popular podcasts across the state. We're making historic investments to elect Abigail Spanberger governor of Virginia and recruit, train, and elect hundreds of veterans to state, local, and federal office. With your support, we'll lift up the most trusted voices in America, leading with our values. That's how we win. We are VoteVets. Join us.
And we're back. And we got a wonderful veteran to talk to. The gentleman just coming over now. I'm going to introduce him. We're going to meet myself. Come on in, sir. Hi, there's a
Hey, how
storm.
you doing?
Hi, I'm Fred Wellman. Welcome to the show.
I'm Joe Stutler.
Joe Stutler?
Yep, Army vet.
Welcome. Where you from here in Cedar Rapids?
Actually, Marion, which is a little burb right next door.
Yeah, no,
so,
yep. It's a lovely town. It's my first time in town. Say hi, everybody.
Hey, world.
Just a couple of thousand people. Don't worry about it.
I don't.
Desert Storm veteran. Where'd you serve? Where'd you serve with?
1st Signal Battalion. We got attached to 7th Brigade. We were out of Germany.
Oh, yeah.
So
there you go.
We deployed down there, spent 6 months, pounding the sand. And
Yeah. I was 24th ID with the 1st and 24th Apache Battalion.
Yep.
I was an old scout back then, so I was in my youth. I think we were probably both in our youth then. But now we look much better now.
like
we have aged
milk.
well. Janessa was telling me that you're a PACT Act recipient too,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So tell us more about how you got qualified. Tell us about the PACT Act, what that means.
Okay, so for me, I was already, I think, about 80% disabled.
Yeah.
For various other things, head trauma, a few other odds and ends, and I applied under the PACT Act. I wasn't really sure if I should have or not, kind of thing. It's the old, oh, you got a good thing. Don't poke the bear.
Same.
But I thought, I'm going to apply for it because there's a lot of there that may not, that may not even be aware of it. So I wanted to apply for it and at least, be able to experience it firsthand. Well, I got another 10%, because I've got, some lung issues and things like that. And for me, it's a very important thing because my Congress critter, the Congress critter that represents this district, as well as the one that represents the district just south of us, 1st and 2nd District, both voted against the PACT Act on the initial round. They came back around once they were shamed by the VSOs and Jon Stewart and folks like me who are like, you do realize, you can't say you love the troops if you're going to tell us to go pound sand.
The largest healthcare increase. For those viewers who don't know, we like to inform. So the PACT Act was the biggest increase in veterans healthcare since Vietnam. Millions of dollars was spent and dedicated to it. A lot of work. John Chester pushed it through, lost his job in Senate. But it was a very significant change for guys like you and me because of the toxic exposures, burn pits, and others, right?
Oh, yeah, very, very much so. I mean, I have no idea what we were exposed to. Right. I know some of the things.
You learned an awful lot.
And at one point in my career, I was an NBC NCO. So, I do worry about stuff like that.
Yeah. And are you worried? Are you worried now about the cuts? And I mean, we've heard they want to take the number of employees all the way back to pre-PACT Act levels. It's kind of insane, right? I mean, that's got to be worrying you. Do you get your health care at VA? Or?
I get almost all my health care through the VA, through our CBOC here in town. Yeah. They do great work. That's wonderful people. The VA hospital in Iowa City, just 20 miles down the road. They do wonderful work. The dental clinic down there. Oh, they're selling the building, the federal building that the dental clinic's in. So who knows? I know that I've had a couple of appointments since their emails started coming out and they started saying, oh, by the way, So I'm looking at my healthcare going, I love you people that are taking care of us, but I'd really rather them focusing on caring for us than worrying about their jobs. Yeah. They're there to take care of us. They're competent, professional, quality medical care. I wish every American had access to the health care that I do.
Yeah. Oh, that's brilliant. Well, thank you so much. Appreciate you stepping up, talking. Thank you for your service, brother. We appreciate it.
Thanks.
You're there in that dust. Yeah, it's good to be back. So, thanks so much. Thank you so much. Great conversation. You can see the effects of the PACT Act. So that larger issue, if you haven't met it before, so the PACT Act passed 3 years ago now. It's been wonderful, and it is really, really a big improvement in veterans healthcare. Some major things happened very quick with the PACT Act. First of all, they hired 67,000 new VA employees to take care of them. They had over 1.2 million veterans finally get their veterans health care, their benefits, their money. Last count, 750,000 free cancer screenings for pre-existing condition type cancers. One of my own soldiers from Desert Storm, ironically, called me because I, like our friend here, I had not applied for the upgrade with the PACT Act. I just thought there was no point. My young soldier who had been a crew chief, one of my helicopters, called. He had cancer. He got 100% disability because he had the medical records show he had cancer from the exposure. Really incredible. That's how big the impact of the PACT Act's been for veterans. And now, the first thing they do is they want to roll back the employee count to before the PACT Act. We've added millions of veterans, and they want to get rid of the people that support them in their health. So it really is a major issue for so many of the people here. So I'll tell you what, we're doing so many joining us. I'm humbled you're here with us, seeing us standing here. The crowd's growing. JJ, why don't we run another video, and I'll go ahead and take the camera off the tripod this time, see if I can figure it out. Let's see the crowd and see what everybody's going to see in about half an hour.
I was at Barnes & Noble's with my 2 children, 4 and 10, and my husband, and I received a text from my coworker, and he said, "Have you seen the email?"
I served in the military for over 33 years, just accepted a new position in the VA, come into the office, fire up my computer, and I come back, and there's an email sitting there for me.
I knew then. I knew what was coming.
I have not had a single negative performance review in my 10 years.
It feels like veterans are being personally attacked by Elon Musk.
I did not put my life on the line for some tech bro billionaire from South Africa to come in here and try to destroy our country.
We're gonna bear a lot of this cost with rising costs, inflation.
I'm literally donating plasma to buy eggs.
And our congressperson does absolutely nothing.
Stop Elon's war on veterans now.
And welcome back. I am behind the camera this time, you guys. This is the crowd. You can see we had over 1,200 RSVPs. We are into the overflow already. As you can see, it's kind of exciting to have so many folks here joining us. I'll pan around. Hopefully the camera doesn't fall off the tripod. You can see how many. That's all veterans over there. We have veterans in the risers telling their stories about what they've experienced. The show, the Secretary of Transportation will speak up there. An incredible facility. I'm going to take it off here. This facility is incredible. I'm going to walk up because I can. It's good to be the king. It's just a beautiful, beautiful facility they've got here. We are so proud to be in Veterans Hall here in Cedar Rapids. You can see where we're going to have everybody talking. Hello, sir. Say hello to everybody. Thanks for your service. Thank you, everybody. Say hi. You guys ready? We're live. Only a few thousand people. Don't worry about it. Hi, everybody. So really a great turnout. We'll be filling up this spot next. But you can see just an incredible layout, an incredible crowd. So happy to be here. So happy that so many of you are going to join us. I hope you'll join us here. The Veteran Memorial Building. This is an incredible building. I should have sent some pictures over, but I didn't. But I tell you, it's really, really great. So thank you so much. JJ, let's show a commercial. I'll come back and close us out because everybody's more excited about seeing Pete Buttigieg than me.
Democratic lawmakers today taking a stand against the new Trump administration's recent attacks on USAID.
And VoteVets members are leading the fight, protecting America's national security from the illegal assaults by unelected President Musk and his puppet Donald Trump.
I spent 25 years in the Army defending this nation, wearing the uniform. And each and every one of those days, we worked with our partners at USAID to keep this country strong and safe.
Seeing the security guards there instructed to ban and bar USAID employees from getting in today is absolutely shameful.
We step back and we create a vacuum. You know who steps in? It's Russia, it's China.
USAID is less than 1% of the federal budget, preventing crises and helping to keep enemies from gaining global strength at our expense.
Democrats, my colleagues, we're going to fight like hell to make sure that we preserve our national security.
We're back. I am so excited. We're doing this live, so we're making up as we go. You have to bear with me. I want to introduce you, gentlemen. Come on over here, sir. Yeah. Iowa Democrat candidate. Introduce yourself, sir.
My name's Scott Phones. I'm the IDP Vets Caucus Chair for the state of Iowa.
Yeah, I'm sure you got a lot of, all the things getting excited around veterans all of a sudden, isn't it?
Absolutely. There's a lot going on. We're really excited about this because there have been so many attacks on the Veterans Administration. They've been negatively impacting our care. And quite frankly, we've got a lot of people out there that need help. We haven't seen this kind of an attack since Hoover and the Bonus Army in the 1930s.
Yeah.
And that's got to change.
And are you seeing a lot of grassroots? Like, it's kind of funny. I was talking to some folks in the crowd that we in here, and we're all kind of, all of us political types, we're all political types. It's kind of weird how veterans keep ending up in the middle of all these attacks and all these issues. I mean, we really do keep finding ourselves in the center of this conversation, don't we?
Yes, it's amazing how that works. And that's just been the history in the United States.
Yeah.
Everybody's all big about going to war, but nobody wants to pay the cost for it. They don't want to, they didn't want to support World War I veterans. They didn't want to support Civil War veterans. They didn't want to support a lot of what World War II veterans did. Yeah. There were so many groups that were kind of left out there. And let's just talk about Korea and the forgotten soldiers there, and everyone knows about Vietnam. So we've really got to do a lot more, and in particular, with the folks that have come back from Iraq, they need mental health care, they need physical care. We've got to heal those people. They gave themselves to protect us, and we owe it back to them.
So here in Iowa, are you seeing a lot of people coming to you now and saying, hey, we need to fight back? I mean, it feels like there's momentum around the country. I mean, you look at the crowd here to talk about veterans issues. Are you getting more support now?
Yes, absolutely. And that's the thing that's really exciting, in that we're working to get Democrats elected, because then we know that veterans are going to be taken care of. What's going on in places like here, like the Iowa legislature, they'll introduce a lot of legislation that makes a splash. They never enact anything. So it doesn't do anything to help those of us who gave time and dedicated our lives to protecting this country.
Well, I really appreciate your work. I'm glad you're here with us. Thanks for your support of VoteVets. I'm glad to be partner with you. Keep us informed how things go. It's great meeting you. Thank you for coming in. And tell us your name again, where they can find you.
My name's Scott Phones. I'm with the Iowa Democratic Party Vets Caucus, and you can find us on our website, the idvc.org. Great. Thank you very much.
That's perfect. You nailed it. You're like ready for this. So you guys know the story. His wife was like, hey, you got to interview my husband. I said, okay. She's a good PR.
Yes.
Yeah, you're well. Thank you, man. Thank you, sir.
Right.
Good meeting you. Likewise. You got to love it. You got to love live streams. You just pick it up as you go. You can see that's the issue. So many of the issues that we care about as veterans, that the nation cares about, are here now with us. And so we're here to talk about them, and we'll be going here. Look at that time. It's almost 4:30, my time to wrap. In the meantime, we appreciate you being here. I hope that you'll come and stay for half an hour. The live show will be going right here in the same place, same bad channel, as well as Midas Touch, as well as Earn the Air. Everywhere you turn, you're going to find this town hall. We appreciate your support. As always, I got to do that thing. I got to remind at the end, we are VoteVets. You can find out more about what we do at VoteVets.org. There's 2 buttons you should know about there. There's the donate button, which helps pay for all of this, and we appreciate it. It's impossible to do if it wasn't for you guys donating your money. This has been, obviously, these kind of things aren't cheap. Wait a minute, I got one more. Okay, I'm not rapping. I may be rapping. One more person to talk to, but I'll talk about that. So, and the other button on that part is the Take Action button, where you can join us, get to work. And by the way, find out about things like town halls in Iowa. My producer on the site, Janessa, is bringing me another interview, so we're not rapping. Screw that. Come on in, sir. You know, why not? We're going to, sir, I'm sorry, Wellman, good to meet you, sir. Tell you when you're, sir.
Hi, Pat Kearns.
Oh, nice to meet you. You're a veteran yourself?
I'm not a veteran. I have a 30-year RN working at the VA.
So how's that going?
It's challenging right now. I think that there's a lot of uncertainty. I'm also the president of my union local. It's the American Federation of Government Employees in Iowa City. Yeah, I mean, people are very unsure of their future right now. I think that, and that's intentional.
Yes.
You know, Doge and Trump are trying to make people very uneasy, and hoping that people panic and leave federal service. And I guess my message has been to my membership: don't leave. That's what they want you to do. The RIF plans that they have now for forcing people out are illegal. Their attempts to terminate probationary employees were illegal. We got those employees reinstated, and we continue to keep fighting it.
Wow. And it's got to be devastating for the employees. It's got to be hard to go to work every day. A constant assault, constant short-term notices and things you have to react to all the time. How do you take care of your veterans when you're constantly acting for something higher up?
I think the good thing is that, and I think the vast majority of VA people are there because they want to be there. They get it. They get what the mission is. They understand it. There's veterans and their families. They're veterans themselves. 25% of the folks at the Iowa City VA, for instance, are veterans.
There you go.
And I think that we get it. And I think that it's so clear that Trump and Doge and Secretary Cullen don't get it.
Yeah.
That it's a grift for them. Public service is a punchline.
Yeah.
And that's the insulting part of it, that they treat the workforce with such contempt that that their real attitude is the only people that are in public service are chumps.
Right.
Instead of no, our primary function is not to get rich. And I think that that's really what puts people off.
And, there's a chart that came out that I think it was briefly online. It came out, said that like 11,000 folks have already left the resigned. But the largest share of that was nurses, like your fellow nurses. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, no, I think that's right. People have choices about where they work, and if they're why would people want to come into federal service with this level of uncertainty and just this being treated like they're despicable by their leadership? I mean, it's really disgusting, and I think that that's why Secretary Cullen keeps saying, oh no, it's not going to be the nurses, it's not going to be the doctors, it's going to be the faceless bureaucrats. There are no faceless bureaucrats within VA. We're not the private healthcare industry. Yeah, there are faceless bureaucrats that work at United Health because they're making 25% profit off of every dollar of care they deliver.
Yep. Yeah, and in the end, we're just going to hurt healthcare, and that's the point. They're going to lie and tell us they're not, but veterans are going to suffer because of these changes, aren't they?
That's correct. I mean, and I think that there's normal turnover in healthcare. Essentially, jobs have been frozen now for going on to 5 months, and just the normal turnover for nurses within all of healthcare is about 10%. The VA is a little bit lower, but not right now.
No.
And I think that's because it's an environment that people want to work in. It's healthcare is a privilege. Taking care of veterans is a higher calling. I mean, it really is that it's good to have it's good to have
we're live.
It really is. It's an honor to serve veterans that over and above the privilege it is to take care of humans.
Yeah, I'm so glad you jumped in. I appreciate you. Say hello to all your workforce. We all appreciate what they do. It's such important work you're doing to fight for us. So
thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Well, I'm glad we had that last conversation. Important one. Thank you very much. As you can see the overflow is filling up. We are filling up everywhere, so it's probably a great time to actually officially go ahead and get going because, we got a town hall to run and people are walking right through the camera shot anyway. Again, I am Fred Wellman, host of Online VoteVets. You can find our show live every week, scheduled at 1 p.m. Eastern, right in the VoteVets channel. And then these special kind of events with us. Follow us on all of our social media channels. It's at VoteVets. Follow the town hall, the same places. I'm going to sign out. Thank you for joining us for this little pre-show to see what we got coming. I hope we see you in just half an hour. Talk to you soon.